hearings were a disaster. Everybody was looking forward to something that was going to be really productive, and he didn't win with those hearings. It was a total not good for Republicans and for the country. I mean, beyond Republicans, it was very bad for the country. So I hope he does a lot better for Marco than he did for the Benghazi hearings, because they were not good. That was not a pretty picture.
Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump taking on the chairman of the Benghazi Select Committee, Trey Gowdy, over the weekend. Trump's comments follow Marco Rubio's big endorsement from the congressman, who is also expected to campaign in Iowa with the Florida senator. For more, we're joined by Betsy McCaughey, former lieutenant governor of New York. Also back with us, Glen Downs, the former chief of staff for Congressman Walter Jones. And we appreciate both of you being with us today. All right, so we'll start with you, Betsy. What is your reaction to Gowdy backing Rubio, of all people?
Well, first of all, voters take these endorsements with a grain of salt. I would be surprised if more than a single digits of Iowa voters have ever heard of Trey Gowdy, can even recognize his name. Secondly, Trump is absolutely right about the failure of Trey Gowdy's committee. It became an occasion for one long-winded politician after another to make a speech in front of a C-SPAN camera. And for that very reason, the hearings were ineffective. Instead, every single member of Congress should have asked her, why did you lie and say it was a video?
No, I couldn't agree with you more. Glenn, I want to bring you in here. So Trey Gowdy, I'm a guy from Texas, and I've got Ted Cruz on all the time. In the House, you think of Trey Gowdy as the conservative. In the Senate, you think of Ted Cruz as the rock-ribbed conservative. How does Gowdy go with Rubio, who at the very least has been wishy-washy on immigration at least, and you would think that he'd be more of a Cruz guy? What'd you think?
Well, you would think, but unfortunately, that shows you the difference between substance and perception. Okay. And so, Joe, Trey Gowdy, very much like the current Speaker of the House, was very much an ally of John Boehner and very much part of the establishment there in Washington, D.C. So you project an image of being tough on the budget or tough on Benghazi, and you end up getting a budget deal like he just got from the Speaker of the House, and you get a Benghazi here like he just got from Mr. Gowdy.
People were stunned by what Paul Ryan did there as the Speaker, and it's a very good point. Betsy, so Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio kind of positioning themselves to go after the Florida voters. They're both from Florida. Where does this leave Jeb Bush now if Gowdy is supporting Rubio, whereas he, I'm sure, would have loved to get Gowdy's support? But as you said, it doesn't really matter, though. This is sort of the... Yeah, go ahead.
It doesn't matter much at all. These endorsements are just not important to people outside the Beltway. Makes me laugh to think anybody's worried about this.
No, I get a bunch of emails in my inbox because I'm signed up for all these lists. I think their campaign signed me up. And you're right. Every single day somebody's endorsing another candidate. And I'm in the business to follow these people. And I don't care either, to be honest with you. So Trump over the weekend also took on the Clintons. Slammed Hillary Clinton for, quote, playing the woman's card and kept up the criticism.
It's so ridiculous.
Oh, no, we got to talk about this. He kept up the criticism today by tweeting this out. Now, let's take a look at some of these tweets that Donald Trump is sending out. If Hillary thinks she can unleash her husband with this terrible record of women abuse while playing the card on me, the women's card on me, she's wrong. All right, so Glenn, is she wrong? Is this the wrong way to go after Donald Trump if you're the Clintons?
Yeah, it is. Of course, I think they weren't expecting Mr. Trump to play outside the box like he has on other things. And of course, Hillary Clinton is only where she is because of Bill Clinton, and she actually stood up for Bill Clinton during some of the more nefarious kinds of accusations, including Kathleen Willey and others. So she's opened this can of worms, so I'm not surprised it's come back to bite her here.
Well, I'll be meaner than Glenn is, Betsy. I mean, Hillary Clinton didn't only have his side and have his back. She flat out helped to hide some of this stuff from us, didn't she?
That's right. For the Clintons to raise issues of sexism, it's like the Gaudis charging somebody with having a criminal record. It's just ridiculous.
Well, is Bill Clinton fair game, though? He's older now. He looks a little frail, and he's not Slick Willie anymore. He's a statesman. I mean, is he a guy?
It's fair game because Hillary's defense of him made a mockery out of the notion of being a liberated woman. She claims to have shattered glass ceilings. Everywhere she's gotten on the semen-soaked coattails of her husband.
Well, that's to put it mildly, I guess. So, Glenn,
not so mild.
I could make a really good case that if Al Gore would have invoked the help of Bill Clinton, that he might have won in 2000 rather easily, because Clinton still was very popular. Does Hillary Clinton? Hold on one second, Betsy. Does Hillary Clinton make a mistake by getting his help, or does she make a bigger mistake by not using him?
Well, I think he's better. In the last campaign when she ran, he was better by helping her behind the scenes. When he came out trying to help her publicly, his help really hurt.
All right. So in other words, it's a little 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. Let me ask you guys about Reince Priebus. Do we have time for this, or do we have to take a quick break here? All right, we've got to take a break. I want to thank Betsy McCaughey so much. I also want to thank Glenn. We really appreciate having you on. And if we had more time, we'd get into Reince Priebus, who, I've said this earlier today, is just not impressive as the RNC chair. I'm not really sure why he's still the RNC chair, but that's something we can discuss more at a later date. We've got much more coming up on Newsmax Prime. In for J.D. Hayworth, my name's Joe Pagliarulo, Joe Pags. Make sure you connect with us by going to newsmaxtv.com. We're back right after this.